Hello everyone, my name is Reewyn and welcome to day 8 of my Dead by Daylight Bootcamp. Today we're going to explore how to counter all the killer abilities. For this video, I've used a few references which I'll link in the description. Now this is going to be a long one, so we're going to get straight into it. First, we have Trapper. Trapper places traps around the map for you to step in, which you have to struggle out of. For this guy, you want to disarm the traps, especially when they're hidden. You also want to be wary when you vault or go to a pallet. Odds are there's a hidden trap there. Next is Wraith. This guy can become invisible at the ding of his bell, unless he has an add-on. You can also see a faint outline. To counter him, keep an eye out and listen for footsteps so you don't jump into a trap. If he's not chasing someone, be careful. Now we have Hilbilly. Hilbilly is pretty simple. He charges up his attack and chases you at high speed with a chainsaw, but it's also hard to control. Essentially, don't run in a straight line and hold the chase around windows and pallets. Remember, the chainsaw is one hit, so you need to avoid being caught. For Nurse, she can teleport but has a cooldown after. You have to mind game her, which means trick her. Get out of her line of sight so it's harder to see where you are, and make her think you're doing things you're not so she teleports to the wrong area. Be wary, she is very hard to counter, so don't feel disheartened if you lose. Next is the Shape, or Michael Myers. Now, he will stalk you to increase his meter, so first, you need to look for him. He'll be watching you somewhere, so try and keep out of his line of sight. You can do this by crouching and hiding around corners. Next, Myers can only stalk each player a certain amount, and can only stalk the closest player, so if he stalks you a lot and not someone else, get closer to take it over. Be careful. If his meter fills, then he will temporarily have the ability to take you down in one hit. Be wary of jumpscare Myers. He carries Scratch Mirror, then his terror radius is very small until you see him, but while stalking, he can see nearby survivors. He can also see through walls, so be wary. Now, the Hag. She can teleport to her traps and you'll activate them by walking within 2.7 meters. You can crouch near them and this means you won't be detected. Get rid of them by crouching towards them and wipe them away. The Doctor is our next killer. His ability is to electrocute you with 3 different tiers. For one, don't group together as much as you can unless doing generators, otherwise he will shock you all at once. Skill checks will become harder the more you are electrocuted, aka the higher tier you are, and if you fail them, you will scream, so be wary. These skill checks will activate when you try and recovering is important, as Doctor is benefited by the majority of survivors being disorientated. Huntress throws hatchets and has to restock them at lockers. If she hits you with a hatchet, you'll be damaged 1 health state. One way to avoid these is by ducking at the right time. When the Huntress is preparing to throw a hatchet, duck. She'll make a sound as she raises the axe. You'll avoid the axe unless she aims down. Try and hide round corners and duck below a pallet, as it's hard for her to aim at you. Try and mind game her too. Make her think you're doing one thing when you're not, so she wastes her axe. The invisible spirit travels significantly faster, so she can appear wherever. And she can hear noises as well as see things like grass and bushes parting, so avoid these. Running back on your scratch marks or switching to walking can throw off spirit, as she can no longer see the direction you're going in. Try and listen for her phasing. The twins are tricky to combat. One thing you can do is kick the smaller twin Victor, so he'll go back to the larger twin Charlotte. To dodge this, dodge his pounce by running to the side, then kick him when he misses his attack. Trickster is very hard to combat as his knife throwing is fast and aggressive, and you have to heal yourself out of the mend state. If Trickster fills up the attack meter, then you will be knocked down. Your best shot is to hide around corners and around walls, try and crouch, and if all else fails, zigzag away. Trickster's aim is very precise, so your best shot is to get somewhere where he can't hit you. Nemesis is irritating. He has AI zombies hunting you, which can deal a hit if you're close enough, and he has a long whip, which deals damage far away, which is really annoying. Keep your distance from zombies, but if it's annoying and it's safe to do so, trigger a loud noise notification, such as vaulting a pallet or slamming a locker, as the zombie will go over. I don't recommend doing this though until someone is in a chase so you don't trigger the killer to come hunt you down. To dodge the whip, crouch behind low wall objects, like a window for example, and the whip will miss. Don't run in a straight line either, as you give him a clear shot. Hug them walls. Cenobite, aka Pinhead, is annoying as he can send chains at you, but also if you don't find and solve his box, you'll be constantly hit with chains until it's solved. 1. Try and watch where the chain portals are coming from. If you're near a wall, sometimes you can block it. If it's right in front, dodge to the side. To get the box, don't just go whenever. Try and go when Pinhead is busy or he'll teleport right next to you. A good strategy is to be near it, ready to do it when the time is right, but attack at the right time. If he's straight to you, run. If you have time to solve it, go somewhere where you have a chance of running away dodging chains whilst running. Artist is, again, very annoying. She launches birds around her or closer in a chase, and if she hits a survivor, they'll have crows above their head, obstructing them from doing anything like generators, and they'll need to get rid of the crows, as whilst the survivor isn't getting rid of the crows, Artist can see their aura. If you perform an action like vaulting, it resets the repel action. The best advice for her is to watch out for crows and repel them as fast as possible. A handy note is that climbing into a locker will get rid of the swarm. Onryo can teleport through her TVs. To stop her, take the tape out of the TV, which will temporarily disable it. If you're doing a gen, make sure you take out the tape nearest to you so you're not caught off guard. You'll get stacks of Condemned too, which if full, at 9, Onryo can kill you if you're downed. If the TV turns back on, leave it for now. Keep an eye on TVs too. You have a very short time of her climbing out where you have to, in British terms, leg it. Now, Dredge. He sucks purely because he's hard to counter. He can teleport to any locker and he'll leave a remnant, a black cloud behind. The worst part is nightfall. Your vision will go black around you as a survivor and his teleports are faster. This is when you are very much in danger. Do not let fear get to you. One technique is run through the remnant. It will disappear, stopping him from teleporting, but will tell him where you are. Next, nightfall is only for a limited time. Survive as long as you can, listening for audio cues, and keep an eye on windows and pallets. Windows of Opportunity is a brilliant perk for this, and the one I run myself. You can also lock a locker, which increases the time for Dredge to come out of it, giving you a little bit longer to get away. But remember, only lock the locker near you, and only lock one side of the locker. Dredge will only teleport to the locked one out too. Also, don't hide in lockers, because if Dredge teleports there, you'll be pulled out. Next is the Knight. He spawns another AI-controlled Knight. As it's a bot, he's not impossible to control. After a certain amount of time passes, you can go back to the bot Knight spawn point and collect a flag, despawning him. You know this flag spawns by the sound of a horn. However, it's often a good idea just to run and kite for as long as you can and keep running. Avoid corners too, or you'll get sandwiched between the Knight and his bot. Avoid loops, as both he and his bot can get you. Essentially, just run and buy as much time as you can because it's very hard to counter. Now we have Skull Merchant. She's a little more complex. She places down a maximum of 8 drones, and when she places them down, she's undetectable for around 6 seconds, without add-ons, meaning she has no terror radius. The drones are hard to see until you walk under them, then it will track you and tell the killer where you are. If you go under a drone and get tracked 3 times, you'll be stuck with a claw trap, which gives you the broken status effect, aka you can't heal until 45 seconds after. The best strat? Crouch to get those darn drones down. Also, avoid running through the drones in a chase. If you get claw trapped, she will speed up. Our next killer is the Xenomorph. Xenomorph uses her tail to impale you, giving a long range attack. It can also go through tunnels and pop up in front of you. What you can do to combat this, however, is put flame turrets down. These force her to get out of crawling state and disables her ability temporarily to stab you with her tail, which means she can only hit you at close range. Place them in places she won't see right away, as she can break it if she sees it too early. Next is the Cannibal, fondly named Bubba by the fandom. He is fairly similar to Hilbilly in that he has a chainsaw attack. He's fast, so aim for corners and don't go for an open space. He has a longer time period in which he is in his fast chainsaw mode, so be wary. He can also hit multiple targets at once without being kicked out of chainsaw chase, so don't rely on someone else knocking down. Nightmare is an annoying one to tackle. When you are asleep, aka when the timer runs out, Nightmare is faster and your reaction time is slower. You can wake yourself up with an alarm clock, or a fellow survivor can wake you up. To counter this, don't stick to one loop. He still has a large lunge despite his height, so don't underestimate him. Try and keep awake as much as you can too. Peak has a few things to remember. 1, she's got no terror radius when she's crouching, so keep an eye out for her like every stealth killer. 2, she has a big lunge, and 3, she has traps on your head that you have to defuse or you die, as in dead. For 1, you need to make sure you check your surroundings when you're doing a generator or healing a teammate, as she may be hiding. She can't see well, so try to be unpredictable in your patterns. Mind game her. Finally, the traps only activate once a gen pops, so it's a good idea to heal first before taking your trap off. We have Clown next. Clown's ability is that he can throw 1 or 2 bottles at you. The first is Tonic, a purple glass cloud. Clown is not affected by this. On a survivor, it causes impaired vision, coughing, stops the survivor fast vaulting, and reduces movement speed by 15% with the hindered status effect. This effect does only last for 2 seconds, so you can really throw off your loops. He can also throw Antidote, which increases haste by 15%. This cloud is white when inactive, yellow when active. It can affect both killer and survivor. For Clown, first, pre-run. Don't let him get close to you because if you're gassed in a loop, you're in trouble. Otherwise, use pallets to your advantage. You can still fast vault over pallets, which buys you those valuables for a few seconds. Legion has a few different abilities. 1. They can vault over pallets and windows very quickly. 2nd, they can fast attack you, which triggers Deep Wound. This means that you must mend yourself before the meter goes down or you'll be downed. You also can't be healed before you have mended yourself or someone else has mended you. Most importantly, if Legion lands 4 fast attacks, the 5th fast attack will down someone in 1 hit. This does have to be chained to each separate survivor. For 1, do not group together. It means Legion gets the 5 hits faster and one of you is down faster. Don't focus on healing, it's not as important. And finally, try and do generators as fast as possible. The faster you pop the generators, the less chases you need to carry. The Plague is one of my least favourite killers, not because of how hard she is to counter, but because of how frankly gross she is. Her special ability is to throw up on survivors, making them infected, and makes the survivor in turn throw up occasionally when their sickness meter fills up, infecting fellow survivors and gens. Ew. The survivors will also lose 1 health state until they cleanse themselves at a sink if their meter fills up. She can also vomit Black Vomit, which is essentially a long range hit. My first advice is to keep your distance from her so you don't get vomited on at all. It's probably not worth healing earlier in the game too, so heal towards the final few generators to save time. The thing is, she can only activate her Black Vomit when drinking from a sink where someone has cleansed from. Ghostface is similar to the shape in that he's a stealth killer. This guy is super sneaky, so you need to look out and listen for him. As he gets stronger, the more he stalks you. When he fills your individual stalk meter, you will be exposed, meaning you will get downed in 1 hit. Essentially, just keep an eye on your surroundings and break the line of sight as much as possible. When exposed has activated, absolutely leg it. Try and body block for other survivors too, but be wary. Sometimes he'll maximize his stalking to 99%, meaning he'll tap his stalk and suddenly enter exposed. Demogorgon, formerly named Demo Doggy by the fandom, digs tunnels that he can use to go to other tunnels. This is annoying as it means he can get around the map quickly and jump you. If you try to dig the tunnel away, he'll be alerted and teleport over there, so it's risky, although this is only when he's using his M2 ability. He can also dash far forward at an impressive speed. To counter him, try and remove his tunnels when he's in a chase so he's distracted. Don't run in a straight line either, or he'll pounce on you. Now, Oni. He's a little more complex than the others. Oni collects blood droplets when you are injured until you are healed, so it's in your best interest to heal as soon as possible, so you're not leaving blood everywhere. When he collects enough of these, he can initiate 1 of 2 attacks. A Demon Dash, which increases his speed, though it's harder to steer, or his Demon Strike, which does 3 hits that you can down a survivor, but will be deactivated if they hit a wall. To counter him, you need to heal as much as possible to minimize droplets being left. Try to use windows, as then he can't charge you and try to follow corners. Don't forget though, you can still hold a chase with him, as you can with every other killer until he unlocks his ability. Next is Deathslinger, otherwise known as Caleb. He has a gun that deals 1 health state and pulls the survivor towards him. He also has to rewind his gun, so try and go around corners so it's harder for him to shoot you. And if he does shoot you, block with a wall so he'll let go. He'll realise he can't be dragged towards you. If you jump through a window, duck after so you're harder to shoot at. Next is the Executioner, often referred to as Pyramid Head because his head is a pyramid. One of his attacks is placing the sword in the ground, and a tray will appear as you walk. If you step in it, you'll be affected by the status effect Torment, which teleports you into a cage instead of having to be carried to the hook once picked up. He can also create a line of spikes which damages 1 health state. Try and do fakeaways, where you quickly run and turn to the side and avoid getting hit by the Torment status effect. Next is Blight. His ability is really easy to understand. He stabs himself with a needle and sprints. However, before he can hit you, he has to run into something first to end the dash. Blight gets disorientated easily, so just try and weave around things, run around corners, and use your environment to your advantage. Now we have Mastermind. He's from the Resident Evil collab. Mastermind can jump over pallets, which is important. He can dash and attack you, making you infected and starting an infected meter. You'll only lose 1 health state per hit, however, if your infected meter is full, regardless of health state, he can just pick you up. You'll need to fix your infection with an item in the highlighted chests. To counter him, mind game him. Turning suddenly at a window is very useful as he might go through and you won't. Loop as much as you can, since he can't straight dash you then. Look for corners and don't be in an open space. Singularity can shoot biopods on the ground, or more likely at a survivor. The Singularity can see where its biopods are at all times and can teleport to any biopod on the survivor. The biopods on a wall can be used to aim another biopoddless survivor. You can counter this by using a 3D printer to print an EMP, which gets rid of nearby biopods. Teleporting to another survivor is a slipstream teleport, which triggers an ability for Singularity to not be hit by pallets. Look for symbols on the biopod. Green means it's idle, purple means it's charging a teleport, so get out of line of sight. White means biopod is on cooldown, and red means biopod is being disabled by an EMP. To counter him, move out of line of sight of biopods and structures or from Singularity. Alternatively, you can carry an EMP with you to disable a biopod near a generator, for example. Just note the killer can still see you through the biopod, he just can't do anything. Be careful during a chase as well. Remember, you can be teleported to during a chase. An important note too. His teleport is significantly slower when you're unhooking another survivor, so when it comes down to it, go for it. Down to the last 5. We have Good Guy now, who is usually referred to as Chucky. Chucky has an ability to go undetectable for 14 seconds, meaning you can't hear him, as well as create fake footfalls. When coming out of this mode, he can activate Slice and Dice, which means he has a speed boost and increased lunge time, meaning he can dash faster. He can also slide under pallets or climb under windows, only slightly slower than a survivor. To counter him, first look for the footprints. If they appear, he's hiding, so be careful. Listen for giggles too, because that means he's nearby. When he's charging, don't run in a straight line and try to go around corners. Finally, try and keep distance from him and try and avoid a simple loop, as he can go for windows too. Unknown is creepy looking and throws a UVX projectile. It shoots a bouncing projectile with a blast radius. If it hits you, you get 6% hindrance, which means you move slower, as well as have the weakened status effect when you are directly hit with the projectile, not splashed. If you are hit a second time, your weakened meter will increase up to 6 seconds of removal progress. To reduce it, you have to stare at the killer, and if you have only a little bit left of the weakened meter, you will get downed when hit again. He can also teleport to his hallucinations, of which he has 4 at a time. You need to get rid of the hallucinations, but try to do so when he's chasing someone, as if he teleports while you're getting rid of it, you will get weakened. Be wary, when dispelling a hallucination, you can't look around. Try not to be predictable and watch the killer's movement. And of course, don't run in a straight line. Go for larger loops, not small ones, as you're more likely to get hit otherwise. Just remember, he is very hard to combat. The Lich, yes, has 4 different abilities. 1, he can fly for 4 seconds, which means he can fly over pallets and windows. For flying, he can't hit you, so use that to your advantage. Next, you have Flight of the Damned, where 5 flying entities, which fly through obstacles and walls, and damage survivors by 1 health state. However, just crouch, as unless they have a special add-on, you can avoid it that way. If they have the add-on, run backwards and between the skulls as they separate. Next, we have Dispelling Sphere, a giant purple ball that moves in one direction. If it lands on you, any magic items on you will become deactivated, and also on Survivor HUD, the images on the side, you'll be able to see what type of magic item the survivor has. He will also know which direction you're in because the orb has travelled in that direction. Finally, we have the Magic Hand. This spawns a hand that lifts up a dropped pallet or pulls it down. When the killer picks it up, you just throw it down again. When they put it down, make a sharp turn as they'll try to lunge at you. Try to make a swaying movement. Mind game the killer. You can also try using an item. There are 6 items you can have, which all are quite self-explanatory. When you pick them up, for 1.5 seconds you see the aura of the killer when it activates the matching ability. You'll either get the items as boots or gauntlets. You can equip up to 2 items at a time. Skyguard reveals the aura of the killer when flying and extends your aura reading ability by 0.25 seconds. Night Watch reveals the flying entity, aka the Flying Skulls. The Archivist makes a Dispelling Sphere visible. The Interloper reveals aura of pallet affected by the Mage Hand. You can get the Hand of Vecna, which is rare to spawn. When you rush into a locker, you'll be teleported to a different locker. Eye of Vecna is also rare, and when you rush into a locker, your aura, scratch marks, blood pool, and grunts of pain are all silent and invisible. You also get 25% haste for 12 seconds. It does, however, trigger a loud noise notification. We then have Dark Lord, who has 3 forms. The first is his vampire form, which can cast a Hellfire spell, which means there is a line of fire pillars. The next form is Wolf form. He is at default speed and increases the visibility of blood pools and scratch marks. He can collect scent orbs left by survivors, which gives him 4.35% haste, which is essentially a speed boost and reduces the cooldown of his pounce attack. A pounce attack is a longer lunge. He will always pounce twice unless the first pounce hits a survivor. If they pounce against a pallet or breakable wall, then they will break it. Finally, you have his bat form. His movement speed is increased. He becomes undetectable but cannot hit survivors or interact with them. The survivors will hit a lullaby within 48 meters. He can teleport to any vault locations within 34 meters and will ignore drop pallets and windows. Survivors are invisible when he's in this form, but footsteps are louder and he can see scratch marks. If you hear the lullaby and you think he's coming near you, hide, don't run. Remember, he can't see you. A general tip is to keep running for his other forms and dodge to the sides for the fireball. When he pounces, move to the side. We then have the penultimate Houndmaster. She has a dog with her and she can always see its aura. The dog has two functions, chase and search. The dog will run in a straight line for chase and is very fast. You can change the dog's direction while he's running. If the dog grabs the survivor, they'll be hindered and incapacitated, and the survivor will be dragged towards the killer for 8 seconds. It also blocks the exit gate for the survivor in the endgame. The Houndmaster can send the dog on a path to track someone within a certain radius. Houndmaster also gets a movement speed bonus when travelling on this path. Survivors within this radius trigger Hound Sense. If a survivor is hit with this effect, they will also get Deep Wound. If the survivor doesn't mend themselves or someone else mend them within 20 seconds, they will be downed. If the survivor is downed, their grunts of pain are louder and their pools of blood are larger. To counter her, try and create space like you would for a sniper killer. Stay away from structures as Snug the dog will turn 90 degrees at corners. Try and get hit by Snug at upright pallets as you can free yourself by hitting Snug with the pallet. She is hard to fight, so try and pay attention to Snug and do your best to not get caught. Finally, we have our newest killer, the Ghoul, from the Tokyo Ghoul chapter. The Ghoul's special power is his tentacles, in which he can go forward very quickly and vault windows. This means he is fast and hard to avoid. The best strategy when countering him is to go for the tight loop, as he can only go directly forward in his jumps, as well as chaining windows to try and get past him. Also, don't drop pallets unless his power is on the cooldown, as he can just jump over it. Friendly reminder, this guy is new and insanely hard to loop, even for experienced players, so don't beat yourself up over it. And that's the end of this super long episode. I hope you learned a lot from this. Next episode, we'll be flipping it over and going through the most difficult perks to counter from the survivor end. See you next time!